Well, today is World Mental Health Day, and as we head into the winter, it's often a time that many of us find challenging for our mental health. So, what can we do to help older people in our communities who might be feeling lonely and isolated? And to be honest, how do we know that they're struggling? Well, Andrew Lofts is from care agency Visiting Angels in East Staffordshire. Good morning to you, Andrew.
Good morning, Donna.
Thanks for talking about this. It's such an important issue, especially at this time of year, and especially with the news that it looks like from Monday tighter restrictions could be in force. How are people coping, sort of in general, with the pandemic, the lockdowns and the isolation that can bring?
Yeah, we're finding as our carers go into the homes of people that they are very isolated. They can get very negative feelings. And what we're trying to do is provide that familiar face so that they feel more listened to and attentive.
And I think it's fair to say there is a sort of generational thing where some older people don't want to maybe admit that they're struggling. How can we sort of try and help if we do notice something? What's the best thing to do?
Well, what we've been doing is connecting everybody to their local communities. So we can do that through using the technologies that we have of iPads and the like, and making sure that they stay connected to the community. So we can visit them. My daughter's been visiting her grandparents to make sure that they still are connected to their family. So it's important that family go around and visit, staying socially distanced, obviously. But I think the connection to the community, we have an initiative in Burton around the Burton Albion Community Trust, whereby people meet via Zoom on a Wednesday, and we're able to keep everybody feeling like they're still remembered and still loved by everybody around them.
Yeah, I think you've raised a really important point there. If you can't go around to see someone, sometimes even sending something in the post or getting on the phone, that can really help, can't it?
Yeah, I think phone calls are an important thing. We don't write letters much nowadays, but I think sending a postcard, slip it through somebody's letterbox, is a very important thing now. And if you have neighbours around, then if they're next door and they're on their own, then you can go actually and knock on their door and talk to them, obviously distance, but you can even do that. And like I said, my daughter visited her grandparents and made a cake for them and made sure that people are still understood.
Now, I know you're a company of in-home carers. I know sometimes visits can be quite short and maybe not always the same person. What can your carers do to help your clients at the moment? Is it just listening sometimes?
Well, our carers always spend a minimum of 1 hour. So we make sure that people are meeting the same person. They have their familiar face all the time. And they provide that companionship, that they provide that ears so that people can communicate on a regular basis and have an engaging conversation with somebody that they actually know, because they're there for 1 hour, they can build that relationship and rapport with them. And then that carer can also spot any changes that may take place because somebody may have an unwelcome negative feeling due to that isolation. So they can pick up on those sort of things. So it's important that when you are talking to the loved one, your neighbour, that you listen to their conversation and try and pick up any of those changes that were being demonstrated.
Andrew Lofts, some very good advice there. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's Andrew Lofts from Visiting Angels in East Staffordshire.